Hey, yeah,
There we
so
go.
Shadow Band Refugee up in the chat, like, what's his deal, bro?
Yo, this guy's being mad annoying here, impatient, rushing us over here. Shadow. Oh snap! We're live. What's up,
Oh,
Shadowman?
whoa, Shadow Band, what's up? Didn't see you there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Frank Analysis. I'm here with Glory Jones, and I'm your host Franco, and we're going to talk about Haiti and Western involvement in Haiti. I guess we can start by talking about what happened recently, or more so like last year, with the assassination of their of Haiti's is the prime minister or the president that
Yeah,
got killed. So
we'll
what
get
happened there,
into it
Glory?
later, essentially, but the former Prime Minister Jovenel Moise, last summer, he was assassinated by some Colombian mercenaries, most likely hired out of a private security firm located in Miami. Um, because if you listen to watch the video of the two mercenaries talking, it's very clearly like, freaking Colombian Miami sounding Spanish. And it's also also, I specifically remember that there were houses getting raided for alleged ties to the Colombian mercenaries that assassinated Jovenel Moise that were like 15, 20 minutes away from where I live. So, so yeah, that's definitely a thing. It was definitely a U.S. backed assassination that happened against Jovenel Moise. And one thing specifically about it, about the assassination, is any attempts to really get to the bottom of who ordered the assassination or who was behind the assassination. Any attempts to do that at all are blocked. I mean, officials that were investigating around Miami dropped it pretty much after last summer. Colombia, the Colombian mercenaries that were jailed, they still haven't received, like, they haven't been given lawyers to be able to make statements in court as to who was giving them orders. And it doesn't seem like the Colombian state has any intentions to aid in the investigation, given that it was Colombian mercenaries that were guilty of carrying out the assassination, and also just the general disinterest from the current puppet administration in charge right now in Haiti, led by Ariel Henry. There's a vested disinterest in them not getting to the bottom of who ordered the assassination, given the fact that one, Ariel Henry was essentially not elected at all, but rather appointed to be interim leader of Haiti after Moise was assassinated. And also the fact that he's backed by the US, therefore, he's likely backed by the very same forces which ordered the assassination of Jovenel Moise.
So Henri was not voted at all into office. He got appointed afterward, and
Nope.
was he in the same party as Moises?
Nope. He's in a different party. And more importantly, what Moise was beginning to do was he was, sorry, without a doubt, a puppet leader, but he essentially began doing some things, and which were, how do I put it this way? Like, he didn't necessarily do much to help the Haitian people. He did some things so as to be independent and create like his own kind of independent legacy apart from being just a US puppet. So that was enough. That simple thing was enough for the US to go, or well, allegedly, but probably for the US to go in and assassinate him. And and right afterwards, Henri was appointed, not elected, and the Haitian people really hate him. There's no other way to put it. I mean, the entire country is united in opposing the Henri administration. And, if the Henri administration isn't really doing much, all it's doing is actively avoiding pursuing an investigation as to who assassinated Moise, making frequent trips to the great state of Florida to meet with entrepreneurs and, corporate leeches as to how best to siphon off resources and human capital in Haiti, and also allowing the IMF to impose price hikes on gas, which is what kicked off the latest really like explosion in protests that we're seeing now.
So the people who appointed Henri, like these are all U.S. puppets, and this is the reason why people are protesting in Haiti right now because this is not what they wanted, but also the decisions that Henri's making for the country.
Yes. Yes, and there's more to it because what the Haitian people are protesting now is like just they're protesting against the whole conglomerate of neo-colonial forces that have been occupying the island since bare time now.
Damn.
Because obviously in the early 20th century, the US Marines had invaded and looted thoroughly and occupied the island nation of Haiti. But even after they left, the US occupation of Haiti never really left because they had several puppet leaders after that. Probably the two most notorious being the Duvaliers, Francois and his son Jean Claude, Baby and Papa Doc, who were infamous US puppets. And then, you have another series of US puppets going through the rest of the 20th century and into the 2000s. I mean, the history of Haiti, unfortunately, is one of US puppet leaders since the US Marines, since the occupation of the US Marines ended. Um, but the Haitian people are protesting against their puppet leadership. The primary thing that they want, their primary like concrete demand, is simply for sovereignty. They don't want the puppet administration of Henri in there. They want him out. They want to be able to have their own elections and decide their own leader. And they also want just a whole I don't, is cataclysm the right word? I don't know if that's the right. They want the whole
Uh,
they want the whole conglomerate of neo-colonial forces in there out. They want the UN out of there because the UN
yeah.
currently has an office established there called BINA for short. They want the French out of there because the French are always meddling in there, specifically via US UN peacekeeping missions. They want a lot of these like private corporations and corporate crime families out of there. Like there are several billionaire oligarchical families like the Acras and the Biggios that own several stakes in Haiti and control the ports of Haiti. And what they do oftentimes is they funnel weapons to gangs as a
Jeez.
means to terrorize Haitians, to get them to move into slums where they can work, producing consumer goods for disgustingly low minimum wage. They want Western NGOs out of there. They want USAID out of there because they're guilty of almost nothing but hoarding resources and experimenting on the Haitian people. Um, they want, who else do they want out of there that I missed?
A lot of.
They want everyone out of there, really. I mean, US, UN, Western backed NGOs, crime families that are funding gangs to terrorize the Haitian people, to push them towards shanty towns to make workers out of them. They want, they just want all of that out
Yeah.
and the ability to have their own sovereignty so they can decide so they can at least like decide who their own leader is going to be.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big mess there, and then that's not even mentioning the mess that the Clintons left there with their foundation and how they screwed over their
Jeez,
economy.
yeah.
But
Yep.
there's some reporters, American reporters, that are saying that the U.S. will push the UN Security Council for sanctions against Haitian G9 leader Jimmy Barbecue
Ah,
Chezier. Is it Chezier? So
Cherizier.
Cherizier.
Yeah.
Cherizier. Okay, so what can you tell us about Cherizier and G9?
So I mentioned gangs that were essentially receiving weapons from from these criminal oligarchs. The G9 Syndicate is one of them. The G9 is basically like this loose, well, not so loose alliance of gangs, as they should be called gangs because they act like gangs. Um, and they're headed by this guy named Jimmy Cherizier, whose nickname is Barbecue. How did he get that nickname, you would ask? Well, it's because
Because he likes going to
he's
the cookout.
yeah, we'll say that it's not at all because he's accused of burning people, um,
Oh my
but
goodness.
yeah, pretty much this figure, Jimmy Cherizier, is being painted as a scapegoat for a lot of things, really, when in reality he's kind of just like a giant leech that's attempting to leech off of the popular uprising happening in Haiti and the popular uprisings that have been happening really for the past couple years now in Haiti, because that's a way to enrich himself, and it's a way to protect himself by using this revolution, this so-called revolutionary rhetoric that he tries to spout as a means to personally enrich his own image. So Jimmy Cherizier, who he is, he's a former cop. um,
So he has
now,
ties to
it,
the U.S.
yeah, so he has ties to the US, and he was trained by, like, the US State Department and the US military, because the nature of Haitian police is they're backed and trained often by the State Department and military and the US military industrial complex. So that's him. He was a Haitian cop trained by the US. And what did he do while he was a U.S. trained cop? Well, he participated in one of the so-called UN peacekeeping missions, which included, troops from various countries that were members of the UN, as well as some Haitian police working alongside them. He participated in UN massacres of Haitians in 2017 that were supposed to be a part of their peacekeeping missions. So, essentially, what people hope to achieve by kind of scapegoating this one figure is kind of on the side of the U.S. The U.S. and the Western-backed civil society groups in Haiti that advocate for sanctioning Cherizier, they essentially say, they essentially paint him as the only gang leader in all of Haiti, and you'll by sanctioning him, you'll magically get rid of all the gang problems. You won't get rid of the problems with the police, and you won't get rid of the problems with any of the other gangs, like the Mawozo or other gangs operating around Haiti. But on the other hand of that, you also have the fact that Cherizier and the G9 are very much complicit and accomplices, rather, in suppressing the Haitian people on behalf of these major oligarchs and on behalf of the U.S. government as well, really, because there are several firsthand testimonies that are able to attest to the fact that the G9 helped carry out massacres in, historically important cities to Haitian resistance, like Bel Air or the shanty town of Cité Salil. There's several firsthand testimonies from those two towns that can attest to the fact that, yes, the G9 and Jimmy Cherizier himself has massacred Haitians here. And the scapegoating, putting all of Haiti's problems on him by the United States, as well as the simultaneous push to make him a revolutionary, is kind of just a means to dump all of Haiti's problems onto one person and make him like a central figure, almost, when that couldn't be further than the truth, because the reality is what's happening in Haiti is a decentralized movement. Like, each city and each town has its own local leaders. There's no central figure to the uprising. And if there was, it certainly would not be a former cop who's participated in UN massacres of Haitians. And it
Right.
certainly wouldn't be a former cop who himself has said that he idolizes the dictator Francois Duvalier, who participated in the murder, who was complicit in the murder of tens of thousands of Haitians at the behest of his secret police known as the Tonton Macoutes, which were also armed and trained by the U.S. Marines. So And the reason why I bring up the Tauntaun Macoutes especially is because the G9 and all the other gangs are just kind of like this generation's version of the Tauntaun Macoutes. They're a paramilitary security force that receives foreign arms, because you have to ask, if they're so revolutionary, where do they get their weapons from? You have
Right.
to ask that. So so it's these armed paramilitary groups that are separate from the police, that simply have no other intention or no other purpose other than to suppress the Haitian people, to keep them divided, and to, kill them and terrorize them at the behest of oligarchical crime families and at the behest of any puppet leadership answering to the US.
Wow. Well, yeah, that's definitely something we should start asking. Like, they're getting all these weapons, and I'm assuming that a lot of them are like expensive weapons that they have their hands on that they're
Mm-hmm.
using to kill people. Now, what do you say to people that say, "Oh, like it's U.S. propaganda to say that these are gangs"? Like, because I've heard some American independent journalists say that. So, what do you say in response to that?
Um, Most of the Haitians who give their firsthand testimonies that are victims of the crimes of the G9 gang syndicate, because it's a whole group, it's a whole alliance of
Right.
gangs. So, so there are various people that could be a victim of any part of this gang. Um, those firsthand testimonies aren't influenced by anyone. They're Haitians. They know exactly who's the one that's behind the massacres. They know the name of Jimmy Trezier, and they know his figure when they see him. Particularly because of the scapegoating from the U.S. and also the people trying to paint him as revolutionary. He's become kind of a famous figure um, in the Haitian activist community and the Haitian resistance community. Uh, Sorry. And also, um, it's just kind of as well like on at least on the part of myself, it's like a foreknowledge of these paramilitary gangs and how they operate in the Caribbean. In so many instances, they have their like births. You can thank the CIA, you can thank oligarchs, you can thank the US for the births of so many gangs in the Caribbean. Um, the births of so many really the most notorious gangs in the Caribbean, you can thank the CIA and the US and oligarchs for, because one of the main purposes of trafficking arms to these people is to destabilize the Caribbean without, outright invading it, because that's not popular anymore. They don't want to invade Haiti, so rather they send some weapons and hope that gang members will do it for them.
Yeah, it's less obvious that way, right? When they
Mm-hmm.
make it seem like, oh, it's just like an internal conflict there happening within that country, people that are disagreeing with each other, but it's more than that. It's being, what's it called, instigated by more powerful people in other countries, specifically the
Mm-hmm.
West and the U.S. Um, so I want to pull this up here because you sent me this.
I
There's
did.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
You sent this, and you were sharing it also on the Discord.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here's the United Nations. So this is the Security Council Resolution 2645, right? This is on the extension of the mandate of the UN Integrated Office in Haiti. So I want to ask you, what is this all about? And what can you tell us about some of these countries that voted in favor of this?
uh, well, well, pretty much. I brought this up briefly in one of my opening statements, but I like the selective highlighting there, Franco. but but yeah, pretty much. UN Resolution 2645 was an extension of the UN Integrated Office in Haiti, aka the BINA office. Um, and this was established by previous years because essentially the UN has a history of going into Haiti and doing absolutely fuck all to help. Instead, they're actually guilty of doing the opposite of helping. Of their many peacekeeping missions, many UN soldiers that participated as part of the peacekeeping force were guilty of killing and raping Haitians. And this was, of course, something covered up by the UN, and many of the victims of these crimes never received justice. So, a means to maintain this implicit occupation without direct boots on the ground was to establish an office in Haiti, was to make sure your NGOs are still active in there via this office, which is frequently surveilling the people of Haiti, and also frequently white savioring the people of Haiti, quite frankly.
Mm.
So that's essentially what this office is for, and just in general to have the UN anywhere near Haiti after what they've been guilty of is just a disgrace, honestly. So pretty much earlier this year, this summer, all countries, the Security Council met to either reauthorize um, reauthorize the establishment of that office in Haiti, or whether you could veto it and lead the charge to stop the office, stop the office and stop its operation in Haiti, and stop the continued UN occupation of Haiti. And of course, no country voted. No country bothered to veto the
Wow.
resolution. Um, yeah,
So a lot
yeah.
of some of these countries here are people in independent media, on lefty independent media, claim to be our allies or people that that we should be cheering for. Like countries like
Mm-hmm.
China are here listed, Mexico, and Russia. So what can you tell us about these countries? Like, how does this stand
Mm-hmm.
out for you as well? Like, or does this
Oh, it
disappoint you? Or
does.
are you not
100. It
surprised?
it doesn't surprise me, but it does stand out to me because China and Russia specifically, they have a history of speaking out against UN activities in Haiti, but when it comes to these votes, they either do one of two things. They abstain or they vote yes. And none of those can effectively stop the resolution from going through because it's not a hard veto. They're not actually leading any charges to go and veto the resolution to get other countries to go and veto the resolution, and they're not really actively standing up for Haiti as you think they would with their so-called great knowledge of how Western proxy organizations really operate. I mean, given the way that some of these leaders, specifically, Vladimir Putin, given his amazing new speech,
Mm.
want to talk about neocolonialism and how it's carried out by the West with such an amazing knowledge of this. It does stand out to me that they continue to legitimize UN occupation and be complicit in UN occupation of Haiti, knowing all the crimes they committed and knowing how much it doesn't help. I mean, like just today, UNICEF had a warehouse in Haiti that got looted because they were hoarding all kinds of food from people. And little things, well, not little things, huge things like that are still happening, and the UN is just not helping at all. And you'd think that countries that posture themselves as knowing better would be able to take a stand against that. There was, I believe, a couple weeks ago, I forget if it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, they had actually called a UN Security Council meeting on Haiti. And no, again, no country there stood up for Haiti. Some of them did give, a couple of nice comments for Haiti. They said, oh, like they said a little bit of half truths in there. But then
Mm.
immediately they would go to, we need to keep pouring more resources into the UN integrated office in Haiti, and we need to make sure that that the Haitian police are
Oh.
supported, as if they don't already receive enough backing from the US government. So Haiti really doesn't have, unfortunately, Haiti doesn't really have any power, or well, the Haitian people don't have any powerful friends or allies in this situation. And, I'm sure that, the people of Haiti would much prefer the one brick, one dick initiative of China, as opposed to, the clusterfuck of Western NGOs and charities that are looting them and hoarding resources there. But the reality is, clearly China doesn't see any value in helping Haiti right now, so they just aren't. So the Haitian people, aside from you know, the diaspora around the world or other people around the world, they don't really have any support from major governments, especially ones that are a part of the UN.
So they don't come in to give, for like how you brought up China, they don't come in to give Haiti a better deal than what the U.S. is doing, which would still, at the end of the day, be a bad deal, but
Mm-hmm.
better than what the U.S. is doing. But it's still
Mm-hmm.
not a good thing. They're not doing that because they're not seeing any profit there for that. Instead, they're
Mm-hmm.
focusing their energy in other countries. That's what you're saying, right?
And they could too. And I know it could alarm the US to a degree to have China go into Haiti and offer them a deal for that. But the reality is, realistically, it could still happen because Jamaica has a close relationship with China as well. So the China is active in the Caribbean and in and around Latin America and in and around the Americas in general. And for them to make all these statements talking about, oh, we see how the US operates in Latin America and the Caribbean, and look how much better China is doing at it. To see them making all these statements, posturing about that, but then to go on and again legitimize and be complicit in the UN occupation of Haiti at these forums, it's not surprising, but it does stand out to me as a special disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's politician talk, right? That's what the
Yeah.
Democrats do, like point the fingers at the Republicans or the Republicans point the fingers at the Democrats. There may be some truth there. Like Republicans calling out the Hunter Biden laptop, like that's true. Or Marjorie Taylor Greene calling out how, oh, like there's funding Ukraine, but they're not helping the American people, and this is going to the weapons industry. But then she's doing all this other shady stuff. She's not out here saving the American people. She's out here passing legislation that's written by the
Mm-hmm.
lobbyists and doing their bidding. So it's similar to that, right? It's like these countries are only interested in, or not these countries, but the leaders of these countries are self-interested. Would you say that?
Yep. Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's always about protecting their own interests. At the end of the day, it's always about advancing their own interests. Um, and yeah, because the reality is Haiti doesn't need the UN. It doesn't need any aid from the UN. What it needs is for the UN to get the fuck out. So
Right.
anytime someone says that Haiti needs help from the UN, I just have to be like, oh, they got help, and it didn't turn out too well for them. So
Yeah, and I'm pulling this up here right now because people are praising Vladimir Putin for his speech, and there are truths there in what he's calling out, what the U.S. is doing.
absolutely.
Right, absolutely. But there is some things that we need to consider. And that it's the same thing when we listen to speeches made by Republicans and Democrats. They're going to call things out that are valid that the other party is
Mm-hmm.
doing. But at the end of the day, we have to question what's in it for them. Are they self-interested here? So here's what Vladimir Putin said. He said the West came to global preeminence by robbing other peoples in Asia and Africa. And this is from Madame Belkman said, and now
Yeah.
Putin is looking to do the same, starting with Mali. Sad to see black people taking sides in these Euro hegemonic wars that will contribute absolutely nothing to our liberation as a colonized people. So, do you agree that the African diaspora shouldn't take sides in what these European countries want to do or what they say? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. First of all, everybody, if you can, please go follow Madame Bookman. Like it's like S tier account, honestly. Like the info that she tweets out is amazing. And it forms a block of my own research on Haiti, alongside pouring through the Office of the Historian State Department memos. So her account is very, very helpful in understanding what's going on in Haiti, especially because she tweets so much from what's happening. She shares so much videos from what happens on the ground in Haiti. So, and she's done amazing work helping, victims of gangs as well as these fake ass UN peacekeeping missions. So yeah, big shout
Mm.
out to Madame Bookman. But yes, I agree 100%. Um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And then
I
she
mean,
also said,
it's just on point.
yeah, yeah. On here, she also said no UNSC member advocated for Haiti's self
Facts.
determination. All pushed same century old racist narrative. Russia moans no elections in 6 years, while Putin made himself president for life. Sovereignty first, then elections, even if it takes another 10 years.
Yep, and I can actually speak to that more as well, that narrative that she was talking about, because simply what everybody said when they went to this meeting was they painted it all as, oh, this is some more gang violence. The best thing we can do is support the UN and support the police of Haiti. It's, gang violence, 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 violence. And the reason why it's such a racist narrative is because it follows this centuries old narrative of Caribbean nations, specifically Afro Caribbean nations, being naturally violent
Right.
people, purely because we had several, much more than you think, slave revolts around against British and Spanish and French colonizers than people think. Pretty much the obviously I can't trace like the exact region of Africa that most slaves came from, but during the slave trade, most of the slaves that were imported and exported off and shipped off to the Caribbean were wanted as slaves for labor because they were strong, they were fast. But the problem is they rebelled, and that's how you get groups like the Maroons, and that's how you get the most successful slave revolt ever that happened in Haiti when they drove out the French thanks to Toussaint Louverture. So so pretty much when you have slaves that fight back, you have this narrative of of people in the Caribbean, especially Afro Caribbeans, being dangerous, being violent, and being so prone to violence and being destined to be entrenched in crime and gang violence forever. And the best you can do about it is crack down on it with police. And this is something that I've seen at length with not just Haiti; it's something I've seen at length with Jamaica, where so much like it's written off as just like destined to deal with all the corruption and the violence that goes on, purely by virtue of it being an Afro-Caribbean nation. So yeah, that's the kind of infuriating narrative that's come out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they do try to paint this narrative that oh, like they're inherently violent. Like they say that about the Middle East also, and then they try to manufacture consent for that being a reason for why we should police them. Same thing in Africa and in other
Mm-hmm.
countries in the global South. Like they do these things. Um, but Gloria, I want to ask you about what are your thoughts on this? People in independent media, they go on the ground. That's great. They go on the ground. They interview these people. They show what's happening in these countries. But still, at the end of the day, we have to question like who are they asking questions to? Are they only asking like one side? Are they only interviewing like certain leaders of certain groups? Are they interviewing all sides here? Uh, like we were talking before the show about how people need to diversify their sources and not just accept everything that they hear just because it's independent media, right? Otherwise, they're treating it. People are going to be treating independent media just like how they criticize people for viewing mainstream media, where they just blindly accept everything that's being said.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I agree. Especially, especially because in political climates, you have so many differing opinions, and you have people that can be so steadfast in their opinion, and even have facts to support their opinion, even if they're dead wrong. And like to bring this back to the narrative about barbecue Cherizier, he has supporters within Haiti. I mean, like, without a doubt, if you were to go to one of the enclaves that is protected by the G9 gang syndicate, you would find that barbecue has many supporters there. But with that being said, in the island nation of Haiti, the most notorious dictator ever, to plague the island nation of Haiti, Francois Duvalier, whose regime murdered tens of thousands of Haitians. He still has supporters to this day. The Tonton Macoutes, which were secret police that were the main people perpetrating that murder of any opposition, they still have supporters in Haiti to this day. His son, Jean Claude Duvalier, in his Leopard Corps, which is, his version of the Tonton Macoutes, he still has supporters to this day. And it's the same thing with many people, with many people throughout the Caribbean, in America, throughout the Americas, and throughout the world. These charlatans have supporters no matter where you go. That's why they're able to rise to prominence and sustain themselves. So it's just important that you're able to maintain kind of like multiple, well, not maintain, but that you're able to hear multiple perspectives at once, and that you're also able to have facts on your side, and also most importantly, the thing that almost everyone forgets nowadays, have history on your side.
Yeah.
Because one of the main thing that brought me to my position on Haiti, and like the affairs going on, was my knowledge of the history of the nation. So knowing history is so important, because oftentimes it rhymes and it
Yeah,
repeats.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
So
got to be
being able to
asking.
know that and study that is going to be a key way to, inform yourselves better.
We got to look for the rhyme, right? We got to be asking questions
Hmm.
like, are we seeing the same patterns here as what we saw in past history? Like, who is like funneling who? Who's a puppet for who? Where are these weapons coming from? Like, we always got to keep asking questions. Never stop asking questions. Someone asked if you're Canadian because you seem nice. We know someone who is Canadian, but
You not
Glory's
slick,
not.
Ukra.
Oh, wow. That slipped my mind. I should have knew that. I should have knew that. A lot of people won't get that joke or who that is. But he's everywhere, guys. He's all over people's
Yeah.
streams.
I will say this. Most of my Jamaican side now actually does live in Toronto. In case if you guys don't know, there is, you can find yardies everywhere. We're all over the world, okay? To the world, okay? We're all over the world. But one, but there are some specific places in the world where you can find, very rich and big communities of Jamaican diaspora. One being Miami, another being New York, another being London, and another being Toronto, Canada. So yeah, a lot of my Jamaican side of the family, well, actually, I think all of them now, almost all of them now, lives in lives in Canada. So I'm
Nice.
Jamaican though, like, well, Jamaican American, Jamaican on my dad's side. I added
Yeah.
that little tangent there just cause.
So, Okra says that, yeah, the indie media needs to be more objective and study logic. I would also say that people need to understand that these countries just need to be left alone and be allowed to heal, because the more questions we ask, the more we realize that a lot of these problems started because of all these interventions and stuff. So we need to allow these countries to heal and allow their, consciousness to be elevated, and then
Yes.
over time,
And
violence and stuff will, be reduced.
that's actually a point that I really want to address about Haiti, because something that really grinds my gears is when people who don't know much about Haiti, one of their default statements regarding the situation in Haiti is to say, well, we're sending all this aid to Ukraine, but we're not sending anything to Haiti. Where's the aid to
Oh.
Haiti? And it's like,
My thing is,
okay.
like, how are you gonna trust like our country, given the people who rule it? How are you gonna trust them to be sending aid to Haiti if there's not something in it for them? right?
I
There's
know
going to be
that
something in it for them if
because
they're going to send
because
aid
I
there.
know that statement, like that narrative that I see floating around, it implies two things. One, that the US isn't sending aid to Haiti, and two, that Haiti needs aid from the US. And I'll address the first part of that first. The U.S. does send aid to Haiti. In fact, the U.S. for the past couple decades now has actually been sending aid to a couple Caribbean nations as a part of the Caribbean Basin Initiative, which is literally an initiative that's existed since the Reagan times, where the U.S. actually weaponizes aid as a means to be able to keep Caribbean nations allied to them. And, Haiti is a country that falls under that. And so is, of course, Jamaica. So there are a couple countries in the Caribbean that receive aid from the U.S. And who else is in Haiti? U.S. aid is in Haiti. U.S. aid has warehouses in Haiti. And you know why those warehouses have been getting looted? Because they hoard resources from the people. They hoard rice from people. That's why it gets looted. And not to mention, U.S. aid is also one of the organizations that was guilty of, experimenting on Haitians, because after the earthquake, the UN and a bunch of NGOs and USAID came in and they quite literally poisoned the rivers, to the point where there was a cholera outbreak in Haiti. And then, right on cue, what comes in? A Bill Gates funded vaccine. So they literally experimented on Haitians. These aid groups experimented on Haitians. These aid groups are all around Haiti, hoarding resources and taking the aid that the US gives them to funnel it back to themselves to further enrich themselves, just like the Clintons did.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the huge scandal of experimenting on the Haitian people. So Haiti is receiving aid, okay, and that's precisely the problem.
And
Second
this is
of
a
all, second of all, the point that Haiti needs U.S. aid, like my dog Franco said, they don't need shit from the U.S. The only thing that Haiti needs from the U.S. is for them to get out. It's for U.S. aid to get out. It's for the UN to get out. It's
yeah.
for all the other Western-backed NGOs to get out. It's for all the oligarchical crime families that own the ports to get out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pattern that we see what the U.S. and what Bill Gates and his organizations that he owns, what they do to the global South. These are these are testing grounds for vaccines,
Mm-hmm.
in Asia, in Africa, in the Caribbean. Um, and I mean, I guess that's an excuse also that was used for the earthquake that happened in 2010. I remember all these celebrities getting together, trying to raise money. They had the "We Are the
They
World"
did,
part
yeah. I was
two.
about to say they did "We All the World" Part 2. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah. If they're doing that, it's because there's going to be a profit there for the U.S. if they get involved, uh, through USAID, through these vaccine companies and all that, right? It's so
mm-hmm.
if you're asking, the U.S. needs to help them. They're if you ask enough, maybe they will be like, all right, let's think about a way to try to get people to
Oh, the
support us in
U.S.
giving
is
aid to
helping.
Haiti,
That's the
right?
problem. The problem is that the U.S. is helping them. And it also goes back to the freaking centuries old, like, racist narrative of, oh my god, these poor Caribbean nations, like, they're so violent without the US, they need the US there. And obviously this has been so tried and true in Haiti, but like, Haiti doesn't need America. It's a beautiful island, and it's a strong island, and it's such a great center of cultural resistance to imperialism. And one of the, like, even when it comes to resistance as well, the people of Haiti, even when they're down, they're still fighting to maintain stuff like food sovereignty. Like, if you look into it, the Haitian people have a history of resisting groups like Monsanto, now Bayer Monsanto, but they've resisted Monsanto and they've actually burned some of the genetically modified seeds. Haitian farmers have done that, which is precisely why these gangs need to be armed by these criminal oligarchs to go and terrorize Haitian farmers to the point where they leave their farms. So either A, the shanty towns of Cité Salil gain more people to their workforce to produce toys for, a disgustingly low minimum wage, or that farmland is now used, to build another freaking power plant or consumer producing plant or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, right? People got to ask more questions. Like, should I be
Mm-hmm.
calling for this? Should I be calling for the U.S. to send more aid? Never stop asking
Mm-mm.
questions. Is there any last things you want to say about this, Glory?
Ooh, I don't know. um, there's really so much to talk about with Haiti, honestly, because
Yeah.
like so many people genuinely don't know about it, even though it's right there. And also, like, of the coverage that it does receive, it's unfortunately, quite shallow. Um, I'm
Yeah,
genuinely trying
apparently
to
there's a
think.
documentary coming out about it,
Yeah.
but I've been hearing that it's going to be one-sided
Yes.
in that documentary, and it is by an independent media journalist.
Yes.
So watch out for that, guys.
Yeah. um, yeah. Just I'm trying to think because I will do this. I'm gonna give a shout out to Yona Anawadi. Um,
Yona,
I don't think he's in the chat, but if he is, OCO Yona.
he'll probably watch it
Um,
later, but shout out to Yona.
yeah, my Cherokee name is Wakala Ladia. Um, but yeah, because me and him basically, a couple weeks after these protests started popping off, we literally ranted for like an hour and a half about like Haitian history and all the protests going on. So yeah, and he always makes great music. And fun fact about Yona, he actually got copyrighted by UC Rusal itself, which is a company mining bauxite in Jamaica, because in one of his songs he used some of their footage to, raise awareness of bauxite mining poisoning the
Whoa.
land in Jamaica. So so yeah, I want to give a shout out to him because like he had me on to rant with him about Haiti as well. Um, and yeah, but and also like again another huge shout out to Madame Boukman and also Haiti
Oh
Info
yeah.
Project on Twitter. They're great sources to follow for updates as well as stuff happening in Haiti, and also like periodic history, like some periodic history of Haiti as well. So if this makes you want to look more into Haitian history, those are two great accounts to follow, as well as just going directly to the office of the historian itself and looking through a bunch of State Department memos on Haiti. It's very tedious,
Hmm.
as I can attest to, but it's a source. They're primary sources. So yeah.
Yeah, and people can find you on Twitter, and well, where
Oh
else can they find
yes,
you? And
I
what's
should
your
plug
at?
myself.
And yeah, yeah, plug your stuff in.
I'm Glory Jones. If you search up Glory Jones in Twitter, you can. I come up with a hashtag Free Assange next to it. Um, and yeah, I tweet about like the stuff. I've been tweeting a lot about Haiti in the past couple weeks, just because like it should be getting more attention because, like I said, it's such an important reason in terms of its continued resistance to colonialism, neocolonialism, and imperialism in general. So, like, really, like, my full heart goes out to the Haitian people right now, especially, coming from someone as well who also has some Afro Caribbean roots. So, so yeah. And what else?
Are
Oh,
you
I'm on
on?
I'm on Slow News Day. That goes live Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. East Coast time. And I can't think of anything else I have coming up. And if I missed it, I genuinely apologize. But yeah, I think that's everything.
We appreciate the work that you're doing, Glory. Thanks again for coming on.
Aw, thanks.
Gotta have you on again. Yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
having me,
We
Franco.
got to talk more about this because this isn't discussed enough on
Hmm.
anywhere. Independent
Yeah.
media, mainstream, it's not being discussed enough.
Nah, I'd love to come back on to talk about this more, especially because like if y'all know me, you know that I frequently rant about history, especially Caribbean history, as well as how that relates to Haitian affairs and current affairs in and around the Caribbean. So Yeah, it's definitely something I could keep going on and on about, and it's definitely an important topic. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take care, everyone. Stay informed.
love y'all. Why am I still live? Oh my god, wait. Am I still live, guys?